This is Carson TV News, your capital city news source.
Hello, happy President's Day, and welcome to this week's edition of Carson TV News, your source for Nevada's capital city news. I'm Courtney Bloomer. Our lead story tonight, the bad guys are behind bars after a massive ongoing investigation and multi-jurisdictional effort. 4 people are in custody for participating in a regional burglary ring that has been victimizing area residents since last fall. Law enforcement officers from Carson City, Douglas County, and Washoe County Sheriff's Offices, along with the Washoe County All Threats, All Crimes Task Force, worked collaboratively to apprehend the suspects. Authorities are still searching for Drake Van Cleve, a 50-year-old male, 5 foot 10 inches tall, with blonde hair and blue eyes. He is considered armed and dangerous. Tracy Locke is also wanted for questioning in connection with the recent burglaries. Locke is described as a 40-year-old male, 5'5", 170 pounds, with brown hair and eyes. If you've seen either Drake Van Cleve or Tracy Locke, call Carson City Dispatch at 775-887-2014. Secret witness will pay cash for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Tipsters can remain anonymous. Call Secret Witness at 775-322-4900. Nationwide, an outbreak of measles is sickening children and adults. Measles, which was virtually eliminated in the United States in 1997, has made a resurgence in recent years due to decreased vaccination rates. The current outbreak, which began at a California amusement park, has so far resulted in over 120 cases, many of whom were unvaccinated. Here's Dustin Booth, Carson City Health and Human Services epidemiologist, to tell us more.
In the state of Nevada, we've had, as of my last report, we've had 5 confirmed cases of measles. They have all been in southern Nevada and Clark County. We've had a lot of people with fevers and rash, or sort of febrile rash, that they're concerned that they may have measles, and so a lot of testing has been done. But at this point, we haven't had any confirmed cases of measles in northern Nevada. So measles is a virus that, when it infects us, causes a fever. It can also cause a cough, runny nose, and conjunctivitis, or like eye problems with your eyes, red eyes. It could be, crusty eyes, or like pink eye type thing. And then after that, then a rash forms. The rash starts on the head or the face, and then moves down to the trunk of the body. So if you think you have it, you should consult your physician. This is, it's obviously a concern because there's a fever involved with it, but it's not necessarily like an emergency concern. So calling ahead to say that, hey, talking to your physician or an urgent care or the ER that, hey, I have a fever and a rash, and let them know ahead of time is important, because then they can put infection control in so that they don't, if it is measles, because measles is very infectious, that it wouldn't spread to other people in the waiting room. We offer our immunization days in Carson City are on Thursdays, and for the next few weeks we're extending our hours of immunizations to offer some immunizations after 5 o'clock. Our normal times are from 8 to 5. Is our normal operating hours, but for the month of February we're extending those hours. So if somebody would like to get a vaccine, any vaccine, but we're doing it specifically due to the increased awareness of measles.
Carson City Health and Human Services is offering extended hours on Thursdays in February at their Long Street Clinic location. The clinic will remain open until 6 p.m. to ensure that everyone who wants to receive the measles vaccine has the opportunity to do so. For more information, call the clinic at 887-2195. Pete Goycochea has introduced Senate Bill 11 to give counties and local governments more control over administrative functions. The bill is in response to an issue in Clark County in which the city was unable to dispose of abandoned vehicles. The Carson City Board of Supervisors voted 4-1 for Carson City to take an official stance in support of Senate Bill 11. Activity at the state capitol is picking up as legislators have a steady stream of lobbyists and advocates on hand to move bills forward in the session. If you are interested in learning more about what's going on in the state legislature with issues important to you, visit ledge.state.nv.us and set up your own personal bill tracker. In this week's Property Perspectives, Garrett Lapierre brings us some great information about rural housing.
Hi, I'm Garrett Lapierre, real estate agent with Century 21 Jim Wilson Realty here in beautiful Carson City, Nevada. and today you're watching Property Perspectives on Carson TV News. As always, we look forward to your tips, suggestions, or topics that you'd like to see covered. All you have to do is email us at carsontvnews@gmail.com. Today we're going to talk about USDA or WISH program 100% financing that's out there for first-time home buyers. So the first thing to know right off the bat is what counties in northern Nevada are considered rural and which are not considered rural. So Douglas County and Lyon County are considered rural counties. Carson City is is not only Carson City, but it's its own county as well, and it is not considered rural. And Washoe County is not considered rural as well. Why that's important is that through the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, there are rural housing programs that will allow for 100% financing of residential properties. These are not for investment purposes, these are for primary residences. And what that's going to allow you to do is to get 100% financing on the property, and you can also have closing costs covered by either the seller or you could pay your own closing costs there. So basically, essentially, you could buy a house with coming out of your pocket with no money. These loan programs are very competitive. They don't have high interest rates. They have very competitive interest rates. And the qualifications for these, you don't have to have Gold Star credit to get them. The minimum credit score to get in on a rural housing program loan is 640 FICO score. Okay, so once again, you don't have to have gold ball credit. Your income to debt ratios, so how much money you make to how much money goes out, those do need to be in line with other typical loan programs, somewhere around 50 to 55% for all total income to what your expenses are. That being said, Carson City and Washoe County both have loan programs, not through USDA, but through other areas that allow for 100% financing within the city limits of Reno, Sparks, Carson City. That's big. We haven't had that for a long time. And what that allows someone to do, once again, is buy a property in Carson City with 100% financing. That's important for first-time home buyers. You know, a lot of people think you have to have $25,000 saved up for a down payment in order to buy your first home. Well, these loan programs make it so you don't have to have that. And that you also don't have to have a 750 credit score to get a good competitive interest rate. Oh, as a first-time home buyer, the main thing for you to do is work with the professional, both on the financing side and also with the real estate agent. They will help guide you through these processes and make sure that all your ducks are in a row so you don't have any surprises when you get ready to close on your first home. Any lender worth their salt is going to know, what kind of loan programs are available and what ones would work for you personally. Obviously, if you can put some money down on a property, it's going to keep your monthly payments down, which makes it a little bit more affordable. But yeah, if you're in a situation where you can afford maybe a little higher payment but don't have the money down, or just don't want to put the money down, these loan programs are really good options. Here in Carson City, keep in mind that the Indian Hills area, out where like Target is and Home Depot out that way, that is considered Douglas County. It is a Carson City mailing address. You'll see Carson City, Nevada 89705, but that is considered Douglas County, which makes that area available for the rural housing program. Okay? Once again, thank you for watching Property Perspectives, and we hope that you take this advice and put it to use and make 2015 your best year yet. Thank you, and make it a great day.
Thanks, Garrett. Our youth reporter Kit is here interviewing Noah Jackson, a very talented 10-year-old who has developed his own video games and made his own website.
Hi, this is Kit Report for Carson TV, and I am here with Noah Jackson, aspiring youth video game developer. Hi, so tell me a little bit about how you got involved in developing video games.
Well, I heard about this thing called JavaScript online. Basically, it's the code to HTML or a web page. You can edit using that. I thought I could make a game out of it. My friend said he was making a game, and I'm like, oh, we can make games together. Made this little group called Echo. It 4 more people. And it is not a company. I'm working on that. Anyway.
So, I understand that you have a website and that you can put the video games on the website and people can actually download the video games to their computer and play them. So tell me a little bit about what the website's about and the video games.
Okay, so basically the website is based on my group, Echo Entertainment. Basically it's a place. I didn't think that my games would get green-lighted on Steam because of my age. Anyway, don't let that stop you. Create a game using what I use is Wix, so I could put it together without having to download anything. And I put together a website where I could put my games and not have to worry about having to get my game green-lighted.
That is very neat. And so, tell me, is this a good thing for kids to get involved in? Because I understand that playing a video game is definitely different than developing a video game. And what is it like to go through that process, and how is it good for children to go through that?
Well, I think it's a lot better than playing video games, and I think that it is something that every child should learn. It isn't like playing games at all. Playing games is unhealthy and it shuts down the front part of your brain. However, game developing, it makes your mind run. It keeps that part of your brain awake. It gives you education, something that you could do in college, something that could help you get a lot of money, stand out in the world. And the process is a lot different. You have to execute commands, test it, fail, trial and error, basically.
So how does this teach kids to be creative?
It teaches kids to be creative because don't just play other people's ideas, use other people's ideas. It's not always really what you want, or it's just bland. You don't change it, you just look at something someone else made. It's just not the same as doing something that you want. Opening your imagination.
That is a very neat and excellent thing to teach kids. Thank you.
Thanks, Kit. The long-anticipated multi-million-dollar animal shelter is moving forward. Groundbreaking is expected in March, and the state-of-the-art facility should be completed within a year. The new shelter will be funded through the 1/8-cent sales tax increase that took place on October 1st, 2014, with additional funds raised by CASI, the Carson Animal Services Initiative. The organization is pledging $200,000 to be used as a community donation. The operation of the current animal shelter is handled by the nonprofit Nevada Humane Society, and the organization will play an active role in the design of the new facility. Nestled in a shop on Hot Springs Road, Nerdvana is the perfect place for self-appointed nerds to get together for games and fun. The shop is the focus of this week's Hidden Gem segment.
This is Nerdvana. It's a veteran-owned and operated game store. Card games, board games, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, Warhammer 40K miniatures, all that kind of stuff. We're located at 385 Hot Springs Road, Suite 1, about halfway between Denny's and Walmart on Hot Springs. We do Warhammer 40K games on Saturday mornings, starting at about 11 o'clock. We have Friday Night Magic on Friday evenings, usually starting around 6. And then Wednesday evenings we have 2 D&D groups that meet, one at 6 and one at 8, and they're about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. It's a good way for people who've never played to try something new. We've been here about almost a year. Next month will be a year for us. We do have a Facebook page at Nerdvana NV at facebook.com. So people can come in and choose any one of the games that we have on the wall here, and just, if you have a group, you can come in and play. If you're needing a group, our employees are more than willing to play with you and teach you how to play any of the games that we have that you might want to learn. There's no fees involved, and anytime we're open, you can come in and play.
The Carson High boys basketball team grabbed a share of the Sierra League title for the first time since 2003, and the #1 seed going into the regional playoffs by taking out the Miners of Minogue 49-45 in double overtime on Tuesday and the Douglas Tigers 37-29 on Friday. The Senators will face off against North Valleys in the first game of the playoffs on Tuesday the 17th at home. The CHS girls basketball team fell hard against Minogue on Tuesday, 63-31, and ended the regular season with a disappointing 59-36 loss to Douglas on Friday. In wrestling, in the NIAA State Wrestling Championships, Carson got off to a pretty good start on Friday, with Brady O'Keefe, Nolan Shine, and Brady Rivera all winning first-round matches. In the end, there wasn't to be a title for Carson, but O'Keefe took second place while Rivera and Brandon Bassa both finished third. And finally, WNC's Wildcats baseball team lost all 3 games over the weekend to Riverside City College.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Carson TV News. We'll see you next week.